Recently discovered my wife's affair. I've been married for 14 years and just discovered that my wife has been having an affair. It's been 3 weeks since I discovered her text messages and confronted her. She admitted to it immediately and told me she had met men through Reddit. She met up with 2 men and chatted with countless more. We've been stagnant for several years, and I have tried discussing it with her to no avail. We're going to try and salvage things with counseling. I'm having a hard time finding peace right now. Every moment of my day, I'm envisioning her with these men. I mined through her email and discovered pictures that she had emailed to herself to keep them off her phone. I'm not sure that was a good idea, since now I have faces to put with the constant thoughts. Redditors' reactions. Next story after. Redditor 1. You can never move forward whether it's divorce or reconciling without understanding the full deceitfulness. You should also be tested for STD, and she needs individual counseling to find out why she's doing this. But at no time is she allowed to control the narrative of what you need to move on. She should be pulling more weight than you and trying to save this marriage. Answer. She's actually been seeing a counselor for many years. The counselor knew about one of the men, but not all of them. The 3 of us had a meeting a week after I found out so I could share my thoughts and insights on matters. While the counselor won't see the 2 of us as a couple going forward, the information that I shared will hopefully allow her to better support and help my wife unpack everything that has happened, not only over the last 4 months that she has been having these affairs, but also the issues in our marriage that potentially had a role in her decision. Redditor 2. Why do you want to salvage things? That is my first question. She betrayed you, and you have been trying by yourself for years to work on the marriage with no luck. She has been hiding and knowing what she is doing. Did she push for counseling, or did you? How did she react when confronting her? What actions is she going to do to show she is willing to work on the marriage? Redditor 3. Mate, do you even know what you are walking into? Reconciliation isn't a simple thing. It's a horrible and torturous path that has low, and I mean incredibly small, odds of making you happy if done the right way, so if you do it the wrong way, then it would be stupid to even try. First off, you can't decide to reconcile right now. You need far more time to think about it. I know a few things that are probably hindering your thinking. The sunk cost fallacy. You know the boat is sinking, but you want to try everything to save it, only to realize later that you lost even more when you could have saved what you had and use it somewhere else. The stage of grief, the wife you knew and the relationship you had died, and the process to grieve it similar for death. You feel denial, then anger, then bargaining. That is probably where you are. You are trying to protect what you had and trying to prevent more pain, but it's inevitable. Then depression, then acceptance. That is the goal. You accept reality. You accept that to move forward, you will have to make difficult choice. Then the region B paradox, where it's not good enough to stay, but not bad enough to leave, and so you wait for one bad thing to happen, so it finally push you, but you don't have to wait for that push. Story 2. Oop exposed his family to a toxic cancer-causing element while ruining his home. 2 weekends ago, me and my wife decided it was time to replace our falling-apart laminate floors. The location of the laminate we were replacing was in the kitchen, dining room, family room, living room, and main hallway. We thought it would be nice to have all the rooms, including the kitchen and dining room, all one floor. So we ripped up all of the old click laminate. In the hallways and family room, we found original 1970s vinyl underneath. Since we planned on laying the floating floors again, we decided to leave it alone. We proceed to chipping up all of the tile in the kitchen, making our way to the dining room. We got the tile up in the kitchen and were left with an absolute mess of thinset. So I Googled the easiest way to get up thinset. I found a video on YouTube showing how to use a grinder with a shop vac attachment and diamond grinding wheel. I went to town and it worked a treat, and I was super proud how well it came out. Here's where my story goes south. 2 days later, my dad came over to check the progress we made. I was showing him the kitchen, explaining the process I used to quickly take the thinset off. My father proceeded to look at the floor and asked what was the material on it. I said it's concrete. It appeared to be anyways. He said, no, it's not. He proceeded to grab a utility knife and cut a small square of material off the floor where I had ground down the thinset. It was a paper-like material that was brittle. He said it looked to be the paper backing that came with old vinyl sheet flooring. He looked over at the family room, saw the old sheet flooring, and told me that I needed to get out of the house and get the materials tested. So I packed up the wife and kids and headed to my parents' house for the weekend. Yesterday, the testing company came out and took samples from all over the house. Today, we received the results. Both the vinyl in the family room, etc., and the paper that was below the thinset tested positive for asbestos. The paper stuff below the thinset tested positive for 15 white crystalline asbestos. The story gets worse. I test ground a spot on Wednesday night and did a little bit more on Thursday night. We live in South Flow. We ran the AC overnight both nights. I then continued to finish the job on Friday. The AC was off all day Friday because I pulverized the asbestos into a fine powder. Literally the absolute worst thing you can do. And even though I was running the shop vac pulling up the material as I went, it didn't have HEPA filter and just had a regular collection bag. So therefore the asbestos, through the help of my act, has contaminated my entire home. I exposed my family to a toxic cancer-causing element and effectively ruined my home because I didn't know what I was doing. Something so innocent as just wanting to lay floors has turned into an absolute nightmare. I consider myself lucky because if it wasn't for my father, we would have continued to lay the floor and just cleaned up and never had a second thought about it and just lived in it. The one thing I don't understand is why isn't there more awareness about this stuff? Like, seriously, there should be freaking commercials, warnings at Home Depot, pamphlets or something. Hell, the guy at the freaking flooring store could have said, "Hey, make sure to check what's underneath your old floors before you begin." I asked the asbestos tester that, based on her experience, was it common for homeowners to do exactly what I did and never know about it? She said probably about 90s of people who do not test and do not know that they have contaminated their home. She told me that some contractors are even worse because they do so many homes. They are often working with unskilled labor that don't know or don't care and just rip it up, contaminate the area, and leave. Anyways, sorry for the wall of text, but I literally feel sick about what happened. We have no access to anything in the home. We will likely have to trash clothes, sheets, basically any fabrics in the home. We are in the position where we can afford to fix this problem, but honestly, it's clearing us out. Let my mistake be a lesson. Be safe. Total asbestos contamination update. My consequences of not knowing what I was doing during a simple demo of old floors. Well, it was bad. As bad as I thought it would be. I received 4 quotes for the decontamination and removal of the rest of the asbestos-containing floors, which ranged from $17,000 all the way up to $38,000. All contractors I spoke with told me essentially the same thing, that all porous materials had to be disposed of and that my fiberglass act ductwork also had to go. The contractor we went with ended up costing us $22,000 for the abatement and another $6,800 for the ceiling repairs and refinishing. So here I am a month and a half into this nightmare, and we just had our clearance testing done. 2 air samples out of 9 failed. The concentration for the worst one was up at 340 SAS-C and the other at 140 C. This was after negative air machines were running 24 hours a day for weeks and after the cleaning of every hard surface. My abatement contractor told me that in 24 years he's never failed an clearance air sample test. He also said this was the first time he's ever seen someone grind the material. He's heard of it, just never seen it. But this just goes to show how high the concentration of asbestos was in the air when I originally ground the material. So the second round of cleaning and air filtration is happening right now as I write this. All in all, we lost all of our couches, mattresses, clothing, towels, sheets, pretty much anything that had fabric on it. The ceilings had to be trenched in order to pull the AC ductwork out without contaminating the attic, as well as my air handler having to be completely disassembled and cleaned. All of this happened because I did not know what I was doing. Had I chipped up some of the tiles and recognized what was under the thinset, I would have never ground it, but I didn't know what I was looking at. Luckily, my father did. I cannot stress this enough. If you are in an old house and you are going to be preforming your own demo work on anything that could even remotely contain asbestos, vinyl floors, mastic, popcorn, joint compound, really old insulation, siding, etc., spend the $20 on a dye test kit and wait a week for results. I cannot stress enough how much a pain in the ass it is to get rid of asbestos once it's in the air. $50 and a 1-week delay to your project is a hell of a lot cheaper and safer than what I am going, though. Also, if it is asbestos, go online, get disposable Tyvek suits and Pone 100 respirators. Be safe. A one-time hit of asbestos isn't the worst, but it sure as see it isn't good. Be careful with this stuff. Story 3. I abandoned my ex-chef and her friends in another city after I caught her cheating. Kinda long, sorry. Fake names also. So this happened Sunday. Me, 35, and Maria, 33, have been together for maybe 5 months, but have known each other for 10 years. I met her through her sister Maya, 34. Me and Maya used to work at a strip club in our early 20s for a while. We were few bees for a while till we both felt more of a brother-sister vibe, and she became one of my best friends during that time. She quit the club when she got pregnant, and I met Maria at the baby shower. Maya has always been the black sheep, while Maria has been the goody-goody in the family. Their mom was very religious, and so was Maria, but not Maya or their dad. Their mom died maybe a year and a half ago, though. Maya ended up setting us up way back then, but I was moving away for a bit to work, so it didn't work out at the time. We would hang out whenever I was in town, but the timing wasn't right for a lot of reasons. Fast forward to this past summer when we reconnected at a bar when I was visiting some friends in that part of town. I live 20 minutes away and work a lot, so I'm not over there often. I hadn't seen her in maybe a year. We hugged and ended up talking all night and into the morning. She had definitely changed in the time we've been apart. While Maya is very attractive, Maria is a certified baddie. She looks like a thick Becky G. When we were hanging out back then, she was really modest, but since her mom passed, she opened up a lot, started dressing up and all that. We talked about a lot of stuff, and she told me I was her first adult crush, and she kinda hoped we'd get married and have kids when we were young. We were both drunk, but she started crying, and we went to her place and just talked all night. She told me she loved me that morning over waffles when we were sober. We started dating quick and went official. And all has been good. I do work a lot, but we spend all our free time together. This time has been great. She opened up about that too. She's confessed that she's bi, but has only been with one girl when she was young and been wanting to hook up with a girl with my permission. She knows about my history and that I've been cheated on multiple times by different girls, so I'm not into sharing like that, but she'd bring it up every so often, but it wasn't something I'm interested in right now. Fast forward to this Sunday. She has a group of friends, and 2 of them are getting married in a few months. Victor, 30 form, and Andrea, 30 form, and Andrea, 30 fee, as well as Jose and Reina. The engaged couple are getting married about 3 hours away, and they wanted to go and see how everything is and make more plans for that weekend. Basically, a mini vacation. We worked out a deal where Vic was gonna pay for everyone's rooms and I'd drive cause I'm the only one with a big vehicle to drive all 6 of us. This has big money, so it's not a problem for him, and I didn't mind driving. We had a good Saturday exploring and seeing the wedding site, and Sunday we were gonna go bar hopping and stuff. We went to this spot that has a bunch of clubs and bars in walking distance. Eventually, Josie wanted to go to a bar to see the second half of the Super Bowl, so the guys and girls split up and were gonna meet after the game. The girls ended up at this gay club, so we walked over there and it was pretty busy. We got in and went looking for them. We found Andre at the bar getting a drink and Reina was in the restroom. There was a long line and she said Maria went to go look for Andrea while she waited in line. We go looking for Maria and Reina sees her first and I see the look on her face and start looking around. Reina doesn't even say anything and takes Josie and they walk away and Andrea is like, well. Then I see what's up. So the club has these lil booths that open up like little cabanas. There I see Maria getting some finger help from random girl basically, and some dude is grabbing her chest and kissing her, like basically tongue ducking her. Dick looks at me like I was gonna go start a fight, but that guy literally felt dead inside and just left. Went back to the hotel and got my Silite, then drove all the way home. Yesterday, Vic and Josie hit me up separately and said it was ducked up I left them stranded, but they understood and no hard feelings. But Andrea called me and said I was an A and said I should have manned up, and confronted her then and would have seen that Maria was super ducked up and not in her right state of mind. Supposedly, she got wasted. I've seen her drink and she can hold her liquor, so that doesn't compute with me. Vic said after I left, Andre went and got her, and she started crying when they told her I saw everything. Maria called me and texted me begging for me to just talk to her this morning and showed up at my job, but I'm taking the rest of the week off, so they told her I wasn't there. Maya came by earlier, and as soon as I saw her, I started crying. I haven't felt this way in so long. She told me she understands, and we talked for a while, and she told me she's gonna tell her sister to just leave me alone, and if I want to talk to her, I will. I just can't forgive betrayal, and she knows this. I've cut family off for less, and it's nothing for me to drop someone out of my life if I have to. I've been alone most of my life, so it doesn't matter anyway. What really gets me is before all this was going on, she started bringing up having kids and getting married. Even making comments at the venue Saturday that I'd look handsome in a suit, but we could get married in flip-flops, and she'd be happy. I can't get the look of her face out of my head from the club. Sorry, this is so long, I just needed to be vent. Story 4. Girlfriend cheated on me, and I'm trying to forgive her. Me, M, 25, and my girlfriend, F, 24, have been in a relationship for 3 years. We're both working and have good jobs. Things had been amazing. Everything was beautiful. She was understanding, fun, we had similar taste, and we were both into arts. We both have had multiple relationships before, and because I knew what my flaws were, I have tried every single day to be a better boyfriend to her. Things were fine for the first 2 years. We had a space to talk about things, and we grew into a healthier relationship. Around the end of the second year, she had to move to her hometown, which was a bit far away from where we used to love because of some family issues. We had decided to meet each other during the time, but the pandemic was really bad in our country, and we couldn't meet for almost 8 months. But we used to talk to each other every single day. We used to video call, share things, kept the relationship engaged. We met, finally, after 8 months. She moved back in. And recently, I accidentally got to find out that she was in a relationship with someone else from her office back in her hometown for 5 months while she was away. My girlfriend had been curious all her life, and we both pretty much knew it and was open about it. I confronted my girlfriend, and according to my girlfriend, she met this girl from her office who was older than her, and she kept pursuing her until my girlfriend eventually gave in. She says it was because she was curious. She says nothing have happened physically between them, but I found out chats which were very sexual in nature, mostly lead on the other girl. And from the chats, I did realize that something physical, in fact, didn't happen between them because they had talked about it. But anyway, this broke my heart and I wanted to leave. I was shattered beyond my apprehension and I was completely numb. I didn't get angry at her or shout at her. I just asked her to pack her things and leave. She kept begging me for a chance and promised me that nothing have happened between them and it was only because she was curious. But I'm also sure nothing didn't happen between them because they didn't have the chance to do it. I didn't went to work the next day and she was home, begging me for forgiveness, crying the entire day to the point where she was about to get herself sick. I felt extremely bad seeing her like that and thought of giving her another chance. But I don't ever think I'll get out of this ugly, devastating feeling of her choosing someone else over me. It breaks my heart whenever I think about it. I want to forgive her and move past and get over it. Do you think I'll ever get over this? Have anyone else forgive their partners and later didn't regret it? I just really love her a lot, but I feel like sick shit whenever I think about that incident. This post is very messy as I'm just pouring everything that's coming into my head. I apologize for that. Redditor's reaction. Redditor 1. She will do it again. Get away from her. Redditor follow-up. Yay, and you are so young. Why? Just start our fresh with someone else. Redditor 2. She was in a relationship with someone else for 5 months. Only you would know if this is something you can move past and actually forgive. For me, it's a hell no. And TBH, you deserve better. Redditor 3. So, you had an amazing relationship and then couldn't meet each other for 8 months due to the pandemic, and then your pandemic, and then your evolving G's in an affair for about a 70s of that time. Tell me again, why do you want this relationship? Answer. I don't know. I know it's not because I think I wouldn't get anything better. I guess I saw a future with this person, something I never thought I'd want for myself. And I think I'm just using the past and everything we had shared it in to excuse the present. She have been trying really hard to earn back my trust after this incident happened and have been begging and reassuring me every day that she'll do anything to earn back that trust. I don't know. I just loved this person so much. It hurt to leave her. Redditor 4. You can forgive her and not stay with her. Answer. I do love her and want to make this work. I just don't know if I'll be able to get out of this place. Also, I think I'm giving myself excuses like, maybe she was just curious, or hey, at least it wasn't physical intimacy, but I know I am just trying to convince myself with these.
Care package being delivered.
Oh, care package, sweet. Zipline deployed.